Welcome to this introduction of Windows 8. This is Windows 8 Enterprise. We're doing this to help you get familiar with the Windows 8 environment before you have it released to you, whether it be through purchasing new hardware or having an image installed via your wonderful tech people. So these videos are going to cover a couple of topics just to get you familiar with Windows 8. It's going to go over, in other videos, Microsoft accounts and the importance of using those and associating them with your logins. The profile that you configure will be synchronized up into your Microsoft account storage, and then whenever you log into another Windows 8 machine and associate that ID with your domain, the settings will come down. Some of the settings will come down and customizations to help make moving between machines easier. We're also going to cover off just some basics about the desktop environment. We're going to look at what I call hot zones. Microsoft calls them charms, and they're basically zones that are on the desktop which you gesture into with your mouse and trigger off various things like the start menu or some common configuration control panel type settings and zones. We're going to look at how that start menu has changed and a little closer look at some of the tiles and the applications that can be installed. I think it's changed, but for the better. And we'll look at the start menu apps and how that runs in that environment. And in probably the last few videos, we're going to get some feedback from some people who will often, when you change with an OS, you ask the question, where is my ... as in you're always looking for, where have they put that now? So we're going to try and highlight some of those things to make it easier for you as a user to just know from these videos in preparation where to find the common things that you like to use, and things like printers or your wireless settings, and then you won't be lost when you actually get your image. So we'll get this underway. I've created a virtual machine with Windows 8 Enterprise, and I'm going to remote desktop into it to demonstrate some of these features. So this is the start menu. Now this is the menu that you're going to see full screen every time that you press the start key. That can be a little overwhelming initially because we're used to having something popping up the side of the screen, but you have all the common functions that you're used to seeing within that start menu, and we're going to look at those in a bit more detail later. Things like being able to search for documents or search for applications and control panel settings. In addition, Windows 8 adds this whole new environment of being able to run apps within the start menu environment, and those apps can communicate with each other. They can flick over and show relevant information and update themselves. So we'll look at those closer in another video. Our staff are going to use this virtual machine and be able to log in just to get familiar with this, so I'm going to talk through some of the things that they need to do to set that up and get familiar. It will be useful also to you if you can perhaps download a preview version of it while it's still available, and set up your profile just the way you want, associate it with your Microsoft account, and some of these settings will come down to your release version or your general availability version when you get it on your new hardware, or when it's deployed via your tech department. So just as a first pointer, a lot of people are used to logging into a Windows 7 machine or less and seeing their desktop instantly. When you start up in the start menu, the desktop is considered another environment or an app. So to get to your desktop, you're going to click the desktop app, and this is the default picture for the desktop app, and that's quite easy to change. We'll show you how to do that later. The next thing I'd like to point out is that the start menu is missing, so a lot of people would be looking for that when they log into a Windows 8 machine. They've just seen a full version of the start screen and they can see all the apps within there, but when they get to the desktop, they're used to seeing a little pearl with the Windows icon. Well, now we've got the concept of charms, or I call them hot zones, and it's all about mouse gestures, and of course it's always keeping in view that you can use this operating system on a tablet. That's not to say that it can't be used quite effectively and have a bit of fun using the mouse. So this gesture that you will get used to is to move the mouse down into the bottom left hand corner and bring up the start menu. So that's one way of doing it. Another way, of course, is to press the start menu key on the keyboard, and there's a charm or a hot zone along here which you can click on, and that will bring up the start menu there. So that's quite easy. You can press the escape key to get out of that start menu, or you can click back onto the desktop. So get familiar with those couple of methods of trying to get into the start menu, and we'll just introduce some of the concepts of the start menu environment in another video shortly. Thanks for watching.